While around the back of it, what we'll do is put the old finger in the exhaust. Why? Well, you're looking for DPF issues on the Ingenium engines. Right, before we get into today's video, something that everyone's been asking me about is when are the offers back on for TOPDON for the jump packs and the diagnostic machine. They are now back on offer as of today, the 27th of January, for the next few days. So if you're looking to get hold of a jump pack such like this, the JS 2000, I've had this one for a couple of years now, it gets hammered every day and it's absolutely brilliant. This boost pack will jumpstart any vehicle up to sort of a 5 litre, 6 litre diesel or petrol engines, no problem at all. It's dead lightweight and slimline. Say 8 packs a mighty punch. It's dead easy to use. You simply plug the jump leads in, press the boost button, and you'll have any vehicle up and running in a matter of seconds. Multiple uses as well, because it's also a power bank, also has a built-in torch as well for convenience, and you can even power DC electric on the 2000 series model as well, so you can plug in a tire inflator, etc. It can say charge mobile phone up. It's a brilliant piece of kit. Now the new version, which looks a bit better than this and it's got a bit more tech on it, is now available with a discount with using the promo code on screen. Now, usually retails are just over £80. With the promo code, you can get a discount getting it down to £63.99. And if you want something a little bit smaller and cheaper that still packs a punch as well, you've got the JS 1500. Now this is even smaller than the 2000, super lightweight pack that will power up to 3-4 litre diesel engines, no problem whatsoever. Same principle again, you put the jump leads in and away you go. Has a built-in torch and also a power bank, does Type-C and USB connectors. That is a great little bit of kit. We keep it actually in this truck, to be fair, and we use it to jumpstart loads of cars. It's never let us down. I see, and they are now back on offer as well. Usually retail at about £59.99, going down to about £48 and a few pence. The price actually, correct one, is on the screen now with that promo code. Great little jump pack they are as well. And finally as well, the diagnostic machines back on offer. Our good friend, the ART Diag 600S. It will scan pretty much any make or vehicle, has about 9 different service functions, the last check. So it'll work on things like ABS sensors, airbag sensors, DPF, so DPF regeneration, resets. It'll even now do injector coding as well. It'll do a full scan of all the main modules on the car, has a live data. Put simply, you're going to struggle to find a diagnostic machine that's simple to use, that's got as much functionality as this for a lesser price point. Honestly, we would have spent thousands of pounds on a snap-on machine with this amount of tech and punch in it a few years ago. And it's now going down because of the offer. So you've got a discount code on the screen here and it'll drop down to the price on your screen now. So a nice little saving. And the best part of these machines as well is these are free updates for life. The 600S is free updates. So this is never going to be outdated and it's constantly being updated with new makes, manufacturers and models every single week. Now all these products are on offer until the 3rd of February. So you've only got a few days to get hold of them and we have no idea when the net's going to be back on offer. Now very important as well to mention, please use the links in our description. Go over to eBay where they are sold via the shop for TOPDON and get hold of them there. But make sure you use our links first because you want to make sure you're getting the correct software updates, the correct machines, the latest models. That is a crucial one because there's loads of inferior models being sold out there by people who are not the correct vendor. And I also want to make sure you're getting your free updates on your diagnostic machines and of course warranties as well from the correct supplier here in the UK. Plus when you put those promo codes in, they're the cheapest price anyway, so why would you use anyone else? So use those links in the description, get yourself over there and get hold of your machine today. Morning all, welcome back to the Car UK channel. You join me today as we're on the road to go and buy a Jaguar F Pace. Now, not the usual thing that I buy for retail, first thing to mention, but it is a vehicle that I do have 1 or 2 customers who will buy these type of vehicles, 4-wheel drive stuff in particular. So I definitely think there'll be a bit of money in it for me if it's in decent nick. And you need to make sure it is in decent nick because they do suffer with a few problems, these Jaguar Land Rover products, namely the 2-litre diesel Ingenium engine, which is what is fitted to this car. Can suffer with problems such as DPF blockages and timing chain issues. So we need to make sure they're okay. And also some other issues as well, such as steering. So there's quite a lot to check on it. But if it's all right, I say it's a half decent car, and I suspect it will be because of who the chap it is I'm buying off, a trader that is well trusted. I think we'll be able to make a little bit of money out of it just trading it on. So we're going to have a look at it and see if it's okay. And then once we've done that, I'm going to show you another vehicle that I've bought, something completely different on the opposite end of the spectrum, a lot older, a old Skoda, which I'll talk more about later on. So without further ado, let's get ourselves on the road and get ourselves down to RS Car Sales, where this Jaguar has come in part exchange. Right, here we are. We'll have a look round in a minute, but at the moment let's focus on what we're here for, the lovely Jaguar F Pace. This is a premium model or prestige model, if you want to call it that, on a 17 plate 2-litre diesel.
obviously. A lovely Ingenium engine. That's a joke, by the way. Can have a few issues on these, which we'll no doubt have a look at as we go around this one. But I'm told on reliable source that it's actually not a bad one. Now, this one's done 100,000 miles dead, but it is incredible value. In fact, these have come down so much over the last 18 months. I mean, they've pretty much halved in price. So they do offer excellent value if you buy a really nice one. And this one, on the face of it, looks pretty decent. Let's have a proper look. Very clean, actually. There's a few bits I've noticed on it, a few touch-ups. But overall, the condition of it is quite good for the year and mileage. Wheels, pretty basic. I'd let it down a little bit. I would have preferred it to have some nicer wheels on, but they are in good order. So at least it's something. Got decent tyres on, all round as well. Pretty straight, all to be honest, on this side. It's a nice thing. Say, again, wheels fine on the back. Good tread on it. Back bumper, it's not too bad. They've got a little bit of a mark here. I think what's happened is you can quite see it's better. A few little scratches there, a little tiny scratch on mark, and then someone has tried to, looks like they tried sanding it down with some 3000 wet and dry, and then just made a bit of a balls up of it, and then left it be. So that just wants basically just, well, I mean, we won't go too long as painting it. I think, to be honest with you, what you're better off doing is just flatten it off a bit more, rub a little bit of paint into it, and then buff it off, and you actually probably will get rid of that, to be fair. Worst case, you're painting the bottom of a tailgate, which isn't the end of the world on this. Running a mop over it, I think, will make it look, I mean, it's bright anyway, but it'll make it look even better. Towing eye cover missing there, nothing really, won't worry about that. While around the back of it, what we'll do is put the old finger in the exhaust. Why? Well, you're looking for DPF issues on the Ingenium engines, and one of the telltale signs, other than the obvious ones, which is like having DPF lights on or engine lights on, is to stick your finger in the exhaust. And if you're getting a lot of wet sootiness or build-up of carbon on the exhaust, that can be an indication on these of a broken DPF. As they break apart, they sort of go back into the EGR, cause circulation problems there. The start of this problem, usually you get an engine code saying EGR clogged or blocked, and it's not, it's the DPF actually breaking down. So that's always a good indication, but that one's actually quite clean, so that's good news. And we haven't got any lights on the dash either, which I'll show you in a minute. This side's actually pretty straight as well. There isn't too much else on the paint side to worry about, other than just a few little light marks which are going to buff out. It's not that bad for the year of it. For 100,000 miles, you could expect it to be in a lot worse condition than just needing a few touch-ins and a mop over. So I'm quite pleased with that, and say no wheels to attend to either, which is good. I hate painting wheels at the moment. It seems to be all I do. Front, we'll have a look at this. Beautiful inside, obviously, being the F-Pace. Such a really nice quality product. Internally, it's always a nice place to sit. Leather's not got much wear on it either. So usually they can be quite worn here with this sort of mileage, but no, it's all right. You say it's done 100,700 miles. Everything seems to be working as well. 6-speed manual. Yes, I'd preferred it if it was an auto, obviously. Some customers prefer the manuals, some will prefer autos. I'm more in the auto camp, but I ain't complaining for what we paid for it. We'd give fair money for this. It's a trade car. In the back, very clean. It looks like it's been looked after, to be fair. It doesn't look abused. There's no wear or anything like that. You could say this has done 60, 70,000 miles, and to be honest with you, if you weren't aware of the mileage, you probably would go along with that. So it's really, really nice. Let's have start it up anyway. Right, inside now, let's fire it up. Fires into life, never in doubt. No chain noise on start up, which is always good news. That's one thing you're looking at on these. Turn that parking sensor off. Starting them up from cold, make sure you've got no horrible rattles or clanging of the timing chain. You can get a very slight sort of ting of rattle when it first fires up, literally for half a second or a millisecond, something like that. That's fine, but it shouldn't be rattling for a few seconds and then dying down. That's the signs of timing chain issues. And unfortunately, on these early ones, sort of pre-22, I think it is, they do suffer with some timing chain issues. You have to be really careful because they are very expensive to fix. They were about 1,800-1,900 quid to have replaced because it's a hell of a job to do. Now, actually quite reasonable. There's a few places doing them in the trade now. I can get them done for about half that, but it's still a chunk of money you're going to have to pay to have them done. And also suffer with, like I said, with not only timing chain issues, but balance shaft issues as well, which, I mean, you have to have them all done at the same time. Inside, really nice, obviously. Got all the touch screen. So it's just immaculate inside. It's actually been really looked after, this. Got the service pack in there in the manual. It's just a nice old thing, this. Really nice place to be. I think we need to go and drive it now and see what she's like on the old road. So let's go up the road in her. Right, out in the Jag. And I have to say, so far, I'm 5 minutes into my test drive, and it's actually pretty all right, this. So far, so good. We've got no lights come on. It's stopping and going as it should. We've got no issue with the clutch. The gearbox is changing nice. It's a nice clutch bite. It's all right. I can't really moan about this car so far. It is how it was described. It needs a little bit of TLC, but it pretty much is really ready to roll. And to be honest with you, what he's asking for this car, I can't really complain. It's bang on average money he wants for it trade, and I probably see it a little bit better than that, and I think I can get a little bit more money for it, even just trading it on myself, which is ultimately what we're probably going to end up doing with this car if we decide to buy it. In fact, I've got 2 customers in mind for this straight away, so I'm sure we'll be able to turn it around quickly and make a profit. Now, those of you might say, well, it's such a nice one, why don't you retail it? Well, 2 reasons. One is it doesn't fit the sort of vehicle profile we deal in. I deal in 5 grand cars and under retail stuff, and generally sort of family stuff and first time cars, so it doesn't really fit into that. That doesn't mean now and then I won't sell something that doesn't fit that profile. I mean, I just sold a van the other week, which we don't usually sell vans. But it's just not the right thing for me to be selling. And also there's the other aspect of it, which is that Jaguar Land Rover products do have a habit of being a little bit unreliable. Now, this one, to be fair, is okay. It's driving fine. There doesn't seem to be any issues with it in the test drive we've had so far. But these things can be a pain in the arse as a trader to sell. Bear in mind, you've got to stand by these vehicles for, well, a warranty period and then a liability period for up to 6 months, and beyond that as well in some circumstances. You've got to be careful about what vehicles you're selling. And for me, although the return is great on this, I mean, the retail on this vehicle alone, UK retail is about 11 grand or something ridiculous. I'm not giving anywhere near that figure. So the margin's huge, but the risk is huge as well. Because they will just throw lights up. They can suffer with chain issues. They can suffer with DPS issues. They can suffer with steering rack issues. And any of those things that go wrong, and if it happens on your watch as a dealer, it's going to cost you potentially thousands. So it's just, for me, I just don't need to bother retailing these. I'd rather just trade them on to other people who can take that roll of the dice, and if they want to sell them, great. But like I said, as a trade perspective, I will buy any vehicle, even stuff that I slate, like EcoBoosts, Fords and the 1-2 PureTech stuff. I'll buy them, but I just don't want to retail them on my pitch. That's just how I want to operate. But they say good luck to anyone else who wants to retail them. And I'm sure if you do them right, prep them right, do the numbers game on it, if you one breaks every so often, the others you've had so much money out of, it all evens out, and it might be profitable to sell the cars that are problematic or more problematic than most. For me, just don't need to do it, so I shan't be retailing this car. Anyhow, this test drive has gone really well. I want the car. So I'm going to go back now, see the lads at RS Car Sales and get it boxed off, get it paid for, and we'll say we'll take it, because I think it's a really decent car for the money they're asking for. And we'll get it back to the unit, probably mint it up, get it prepped, and then see if we can try and find a trade customer for it and see if we can make a few shilling out of it. Right, you join me back in the Jag, we're all paid for. It's now ours. We now own the lovely F-Pace. We're going to get it back over to the other side of Crewe, where we're based, get it parked up and see if we can find someone for it. Quick mention as well, actually, to the dealer we just picked this up from, RS Car Sales. Now, those of you who watch a lot of content on YouTube may have come across RS Car Sales in the past. They've certainly been on Shifting Metal's podcast, had a really good podcast. Rory, who owns RS Car Sales with Joe from Shifting Metal, he's been doing this job for a very, very long time, and he specialises in a lot of sports and performance vehicles. Now, I actually know him as well for a number of years, must be about a decade now. He used to actually bring cars to my auction. So many years ago, I used to have a little car auction in a town not far from here called Winsford, and I used to basically sell, like I do now, cheapy cars, auction them off. And back then, when Rory started out, and he'd probably only been a few years in, he was based a bit further up the road from where he is now, and he had a unit which was, well, look, he made do with what he had. It was probably not the best of units compared to what he's got now. The new site he's got is superb, but he made it work. He grew his business. He said he did really well from it. But what I used to like about him as well, because he always bring me decent part exchanges to put in my auction. I always liked it when RS Car Sales would put an entry slip in. I'd get back from somewhere, go in the office and go, wow, RS have dropped a couple of cars off. Because even though I was only dealing in cheapy cars, they were always clean. They always something interesting, you know, be dropping you off something like an A4 3-litre petrol estate, a van or something like that. They were always just decent looking swappers. And of course, because of that, they always did decent money. So he was a good customer, to be fair. But when basically I packed up my auction a few years later, I basically fell out of contact with him. But I did follow what he was doing, and obviously I'd see posts locally on Facebook and stuff like that. And you could see he was growing. And he said he's been in a lot of the groups and stuff that those dealers run online. And you've just seen that transformation over the last few years. And the new site he's got now is, like I said, he's superb. And the stock profile he's got is immense as well. He's got some amazing vehicles. So a good shout out to RS as well, because he's a really nice chap. And as soon as he mentioned he had this in one of the groups we're in, I thought, I've got to have it, because I know it'll be accurate, the description. And it was. And that's how he operates. So if anyone is looking for any sort of sports performance vehicles, I cannot recommend enough RS Car Sales. Like I said, I've been following them for years and years and years. They have got a brilliant reputation, and they know what they're doing. They specialise in all the sort of sports and performance, the hot hatches, your big Mercs, your BMs. Even now got some Lamborghinis in as well. I mean, the stock profile, like I said, is just gone up there. Their stuff's always dead competitive as well. They do finance as well. They can sort anything like that out for you. And it's a dealer that I can actually recommend and trust, which, to be honest with you, there ain't many of them. Right, so we've now boxed off the Jaguar. That's now ours. But let me show you my other purchase that I made yesterday. Something you might find a little bit odd, why I'd be trying to buy something like this, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a go at it. I think there's profit in it, even though it's a particularly older car. Now, it's an old low-mileage Skoda in a lovely, beautiful champagne colour, which I'm going to show you now, and hopefully there's some method in my madness of why I bought this car. Right, we're now back at the car pitch. Let's get ourselves outside. By the way, it is absolutely chucking it down the wind, so I've got the old mic back on. We'll go have a look around this Skoda automatic that I've given the princely sum of just £500 for. And hopefully you chaps will be able to tell me whether I've made the right decision. Let's go and have a look at it. Right, here it is, the beautiful Skoda Fabia. I think it's a comfort model. Estate, 1.4 petrol, 16 valve, with an automatic boxing. She's absolutely superb. And this is the, by the way, the old style automatic boxes you used to get in Polos and stuff. It's not DSG or anything like that, because I know some of the later Volkswagen era DSG stuff is a little bit temperamental. But this is the old style box, so it's pretty decent actually. I've never come across a bad one. Other than just good servicing, they seem to plod on for forever and a day. Now this one has only done 40,000 miles. Yes, you heard me right, 40,000. I think it's a two-owner car, and the guy who I bought it off got it off an old boy. Had it laid up for a while, was stopped driving, and bought it and offered it me. He was a bit unsure at first because he thought, well, it's a little bit old, do you want it? But obviously it was auto, so he thought to chuck it my way, and as soon as he said it, I thought, you know what, I've got to have it, because I get asked, and this is no exaggeration, 4 or 5 times a day for automatics, whether the people ringing up or most of the time just walking on and asking. Cheap autos, sort of under, well, 4 or 5 grand. And I always say to people, you're going to struggle, they almost likely don't exist, because they're so hard to get hold of. And obviously, you're not going to get a lot of automatic car, particularly at that sort of price point for your money. Price of old cars have gone up anyway, but small autos have gone through the roof, for they are just silly, silly money. And we'll talk some more about values on this one in a minute, but let's have a look at this one. So, say 500 quid given for it. So it's done 40,000. She's looking pretty well. We have just give it a very, very quick wash over, but it hasn't been valeted or anything inside yet. We'll get on to that. So it's very clean wheels, tyres good on it as well. So it's pretty straight all down this side. I can't really see anything at all standing out. It's got a little bit of dealer's mist on it, but I have seen it in the dry and it's pretty decent. We've got a little scuff down there, but for the age of the vehicle, I don't think it's going to make much difference. We could repair it. We might end up repairing it, who knows, but it's not really a, something stand out that makes it go, wow, well, that needs fixing. It's a 20-year-old car at the end of the day. Tailgate's really nice and clean as well. The colour, by the way, I quite like this colour. I'm not a fan of sort of champagne colours and browns and maroons and that sort of thing, but there are the odd car where it does suit, and a Skoda in this colour, personally, I think does suit it. Let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on, really clean down this side. It does look like a proper 40,000 mile car on the bodywork. There's only really one area which we might end up having to do, that bottom bumper corner, and just some very minor touch-ins, but it's a lovely thing. Let's have a look inside her. Now, it has been laid up for a while, this, so it's a little bit sort of mucky inside and a bit condensated. It needs sort of valeting out and putting the old humidifier in there and just getting it all sort of looking clean again, because at the moment it's pretty horrible inside here, to be fair. And it has been laid up, and it's now worse when a car's been laid up for ages. It was all covered in moss everywhere, and like I said, we want to just give it a quick blow over, but it does need a proper intense clean. In the back, actually, the seats are all in good order, no rips, no tears, same with the front ones. There's a good base there. It's just a case of it's just dirty, filthy, and just wants a bloody good valet. Quick look in the boot. I've not been in here, actually. That flies up, that's good. Mats in there, we'll get some new ones. We got any spare wheel? We've got a spare wheel, although the jack and brace is missing. Someone's pinched them. Let's start it up. We've got 2 keys for it, and for some reason, one of the keys is a Suzuki keyring, which is a bit odd. That's why he's got that on there, but never mind. So there you go, 40,000 miles on the clock. And we've got some history as well, actually, in here. Stacks of it, which we might have a quick brief rummage around in a sec. Fires into life. Never in doubt, got no warning lights on. We've got heaters working. Heaters all work. The radio work, I haven't tested the radio, actually. Oh, works, and it's tuned into Smooth FM. That's all you need to know. Smooth FM, old car like this, in gold. It's definitely been an old boy's car, this has. It's revving up all right for a car that's probably, as I say, been stood for so long. I know when it first come in, actually, it did have an engine management light on, which we scanned, and it come up with a code for the lambda sensor bank 1, which is quite common on this 1.416 valve engine of this year. And it's probably original, so we're going to put a lambda sensor on it, and it will probably want to take in all apart service inside, say plugs and that. It's been stood for a while, and if it's had a lambda that's been playing up, it'll be not fueling correctly, could be running too lean or even over fueling, which will foul the plugs up a lot quicker. Pulled the wrong side for the bonnet there, made a bad error there. It's on the opposite side, Liam. There we go. Yeah, so I need to sort that out. I mean, at the moment, the code is, I've cleared it, it hasn't come back, but the fact it was there in the first place would suggest to me that it's probably going to come back when you're going to run. And he's saying it doesn't really cost much to change lambdas on these. We'll just change them and get them done, because I know they were common. Obviously, once a service, I think as well the coolant bottle switch is knackered on it. I think I read that as well on the report, on the OBD report. It's just had the two codes come up, one for the lambda and one for the coolant bottle. I think like a leveling sensor, dead common on Volkswagens. They always break. You can join them up if you're just trying to cheat, but you can just buy a new sensor, or sometimes they're built into the bottle, just buy a new one, stop being tight-fisted. And that's really it. Battery's alright, it starts up on the battery, no problem. So it's been changed, that has recently, by the looks of it. And it's purring over fine. These engines, all 1.416 valves, used to get me, like I said, in the Golfs and Polos as well, some of them. They were alright, they were not a bad little engine, to be fair. They can be a little bit tappety. They just were like that. I mean, this one isn't actually that bad, but I've had a few that have been a little bit hydraulic-y. But when they get warm, they seem to quiet down. This remind me of like old Rover K series, they were the same. Always dead noisy and tappety, but when they warmed up, they settled down. But they're quite a robust engine, and the boxes were good in these as well. So you've not got any worries there. I have been down the road and driven it, and it does drive lovely, absolutely lovely. Could benefit from a service, obviously, because it's been laid up, but it is pretty much there, to be fair. So look, a nice 40,000 mile automatic Skoda with a bit of service history as well. There's quite a lot of invoices in there, which I'm pleased with. It's got the basis of a decent little earner, but what to do with it? Now, to be honest with you, I'm going to work on the basis that I'm probably going to retail it. Now, I've not had it on the ramp yet or anything like that. Just because it's got low miles doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be all sound underneath, but I would like to retail this car. At least that is going to be the plan, mainly because we get asked, like I said, for autos every blooming day. And I did have a quick look online, and it's quite surprised me really what you could probably obtain for something like this. With being low mileage, there's probably years left in that. On Auto Trader, I found a few normal sort of hatchback ones, £2,000 mark automatic, which is pretty much what you're going to pay for any auto now that's got a bit of MOT on it. But I actually think I could probably get a little bit more for that, because I think it's a nice colour. It's the estate model as well, and he said it's got a bit less miles than some of the others listed on there. So you could argue that's probably a 24.95 car to put on a pitch. Maybe a bit less if you're feeling a bit generous, but it's going to be somewhere in that region. And for 500 quid paid, you can't really lose if you go on to retail it. Or you could just flip it on. I mean, if I was to try and ring some people up and say, I've got this, it's automatic, it's £1,000, do you want it? I think I'd probably have my hand snatched off by a few people. But like I said, you just can't buy automatics. I wish I could get them in the numbers I need, because I said we could sell them all the time. But you do have to have more margin in an auto, because if they go wrong, like if this went wrong, I wouldn't suspect it's going to, but if it does go wrong on the Autobox, we haven't got the facilities to fix them. You know, we're not Autobox specialists. It's a very, very specialist world, Autobox is. So you need that bigger margin to sort of look after a customer if it goes wrong, to get it repaired. Because the reality is, if it does go wrong, you've pretty much lost all your margin anyway, but at least you're not burning money as well trying to fix the problem. And when you go to the auctions and try and buy stuff like this, I mean, I guarantee if this went through my local auction when I go to, that would probably do somewhere in the region of £1,400 to £1,800, and then you've got fees on top. It really would do that money, which surprises me for an old 20-year-old car, even though it's got low mileage. But that is where the world has gone. It's just, autos just seem to be king at the moment. So anyway, that is the plan for that Skoda. Get it for the workshop and try and get it on sale as quick as possible. Try and retail it, see if we can make a few pounds out of it. And boy, do we need to get some cars on sale. I'm not going to give too much away because I've got a pitch update coming in a few days, but we are bare bones. I mean bare bones. Potentially tomorrow, without letting the cat out of the bag, we could be down to one car on sale. That is where we're at. We have just been inundated with buyers, and I'm literally struggling to get stock. through and on sale again, because no sooner do we get stuff ready, people are just coming and buying it before it even gets a board in the window, which is a nice problem to have, but nonetheless still a problem. And the only way to counter that is to, one, fix some other cars we've got on site, which we are doing slowly, but more importantly is to go and get some new stock, particularly stuff like we saw the other day in an auction video, which you can check out in my link description, buying some stuff that doesn't need too much work, some quick in and out stuff, some very clean stuff, pay a bit more for them, less margin, but at the moment we're going to have to do that, work on a bit less margin and get some stuff that's a bit cleaner, because we just need vehicles on the pitch. We've got to strike while the iron's hot, because it could go quiet again in a month or so, who knows. So a very busy week ahead of us. Get that Skoda fixed, get the Jaguar probably traded on. I'm going to have a few calls on that tomorrow. I think I'll probably have a buy wrapped up for that by probably end of play Monday. Get back down the sale rooms. I've got 2 auction visits in the next few days as well. And also at the end of the week, something a little bit different coming. I actually went to Angular Car Auctions, actually yesterday, Saturday just gone, for their classic car auction sale. The video for that is going to be coming out next Sunday night. Make sure you check that one out. It's a good one. Now, I wasn't just going down there just to film. I actually was going down there as a buyer. And I won't let too much away again, but I did come away with more than one vehicle from that classic auction. I had a great day as well. And there's some brilliant content coming from that video. So make sure you check that out. That is going to be happening on Sunday. So plenty of content to come this week, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled on the channel. The best way to do that is click the like and subscribe button. Loads of you watched my content, but not everyone's subscribed, so if you can just do that now for me, I really would appreciate it. And finally as well, before I go, don't forget about the TOPDON offers at the beginning. The jump packs and the diagnostic machines are all on offer for the next few days only. It's the first sale we've had really since before Christmas, so if you want to take advantage of those discounted prices, make sure you get yourself over there. Links are in the description for all the machines on offer, because it's only going to be a few days and they're going to go back up to full RRP, and we don't know when the next offer is going to be. It could be months away. So if you've been waiting for jump packs or diagnostic machines, and I know loads of you have, because I get inundated with emails and comments asking where can I buy them, get now in that link description, get them bought, because when they're on offer, they fly out the door, and there's always people who miss out. So get yourself in there now. Do it now and get yourself hold of their brilliant equipment. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.